This is section 5.4, special products. This is a section I usually breeze through because you don't have to know any of this because it's all about foiling basically. If you know how to foil or to multiply a binomial times a binomial like we were doing in 5.3, you can come up with all these results. But these results are actually useful later for factoring, which we won't actually do in this course. But the whole point of this section is to show you that if you have things that fit a pattern like this, the answer fits a pattern like this. If you have things that look like this, the answer looks like this, and so on. Right, so these are the three what we call special products that we're going to end up using. The first one's called the difference of squares because you end up with a result that looks like a squared minus b squared, a difference of squares. And this always comes about when you have a plus b and a minus b. Same numbers, but a different sign, a plus and a minus. So one example would be this, right? X plus 3, x minus 3. According to this rule, you automatically get, x is like your a in this case, so you get x squared minus, and 3 is like your b, so minus 3 squared. That's just kind of following the formula. And this obviously gives you x squared minus 9. Right, so it definitely works, but let me show you real quick the long way, right? Because you could FOIL this. If you FOIL this right here, you'll have x times x, which is x squared. And then remember we're doing this here, here, and here, here, basically. So I just did the x times the x. Now we have x times the minus 3, minus 3x. Oops. Minus 3x. 3 times the x, that's a plus 3x. And then 3 times a minus 3 is a minus 9. If you do it the long way, you get these four terms, but the middle ones always cancel, right? Minus 3x and plus 3x. So what are we left with? X squared minus 9. Right, so I want to show you it definitely does work, and it does save you some time if you see it ahead of time. But you can always get the result just by foiling, by multiplying it all out. Next, we're going to use this formula to square something. A plus b times a plus b, it's the same thing as like a plus b squared. You're multiplying something by itself. So we're going to use 2x plus 3 times 2x plus 3. Now here, we need to identify our a and a b. Notice 2x is our a, right? And 3 is our b. So when we use this formula, everywhere we see an a or a b, we know what to plug in. So let's do it. First we have a squared. That's going to be 2x, the whole thing, squared. And we'll figure that out in a second. Plus 2 times a, which is 2x, times b, which is 3. And lastly, plus b squared, which will be 3 squared. We're literally just following the formula. A squared, here's a squared. 2ab, 2ab. B squared, right? Just following the formula. Now let's simplify some things. What is 2x squared? Well, remember, we have to square the 2 and square the x. So squaring the 2, we get 4. Squaring the x, we get x squared. Our next piece, we have three things being multiplied together. 2 times 2x times 3. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 3 is 12. So our number part is 12. And we only have one x, so the x is just along for the ride. And lastly, plus 3 squared, that should be plus 9. Again, you can get this result from foiling it out. I'll let you check that. But here's how you use that formula. Lastly, pretty much the same kind of idea. Here we have a minus in the middle instead of a plus. The only thing that changes in the formula is this first piece. Instead of a plus, it's also a minus. So again, let's take a quick second to identify our a and our b, right? And we're going to plug it all into here. So a squared will be x squared minus 2 times a, which is x, times b, which is 5, plus b squared, which is 5 squared. There we go, simplify, we have x squared. Then we have a minus 2 times 5 will be 10, and this x is along for the ride, plus 5 squared, which is 25. That is our answer, and again, you could get that from foiling. So that's it for section 5.4. Let me know if you have any questions, and keep up the good work.